All right, guys, Grand Rising, even though I know it's probably the middle of the afternoon, but I'm going to keep this brief. Last night, I literally did not make it as far as across the street on my load, and thank God that I didn't. I had some electrical issues with the lights on my trailer as soon as I got ready to start driving last night. I was going to have an overnight shift. I had an 11 p.m. delivery, a 2 a.m. delivery, and a 6:30 a.m. delivery. As I did my pre-trip, my lights worked on my trailer. As I got ready to pull out of the truck stop, the lights went out. And I had posted a video last night as I was at the TA waiting for the truck to be worked on, that, I wasn't going to get worked up. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm just going to trust in that. Well, it turned out that about 10 o'clock last night, the same time that I would, about 10 minutes down the road on the interstate, there was a fatality accident, and the entire interstate got shut down from here to Akron, Ohio. Truck drivers were coming in by the droves because the interstate was closed because an accident had taken place, like I said, literally 15 minutes up the road, where someone unfortunately lost their life. So, I just wanted to reiterate that, always trust in the process. Trust that you're exactly where you're supposed to be when you're there, and that everything happens for a reason. Had my trailer lights worked and I went on down the road, I honestly, wholeheartedly believe in my heart that I would have been right there at the time that accident took place. And even when I realized that I needed some mechanical work, I had the thought, there's a Love's 6 miles down the road. I actually was going to get on the interstate and go to a Love's because I would have gotten loyalty points for any of the mechanical work that they did at the Love's. And but the TA was right across the street. I was like, you know what? It's a light issue. I really don't want to go down the road with these lights flickering on and off. So, I just had this instinct last night. I even had called in earlier and said, I didn't really feel safe driving tonight because it was really high wind gusts. I was on a light load. There were just several things pointing to me yesterday to not put this truck out there on the interstate and go down the road. My timed departure time that I had was 9:30. The accident took place right before 10 p.m. 15-20 minutes up the road on the interstate, a fatality accident. So yeah, trust in the process, guys. I give thanks for the mechanical failure. Seriously, I'm still sitting here waiting. It turns out that my trailer has to go to the dealership to be repaired. That's a whole nother story, but I just wanted to get this out. And if you guys watched the video that I posted last night, after my Halloween video, that's when I was actually getting ready to depart. I had on my Halloween costume and everything. And before I could get out of the parking lot, or as I was pulling out of the parking lot, the lights on the trailer just went out inexplicably. It was like an electrical short. And then, they repaired the pigtail. They gave me a new electrical cord. I actually had thought about doing it myself, but it turned out that the cord that I needed to buy was $199. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait on the shop, I could have gotten the cord, repaired it myself, and been on down the road and been in the middle of that. So, yeah, man, I'm giving thanks this morning, thanks and gratitude, and it just confirms for me again that, especially out here, follow your instincts. It just in life in general, and I try to preach this to people, I don't want to say preach to people, but I try to express this to people that, sometimes our instincts tell us to do something that does not make any logical sense. And sometimes God whispers, and sometimes he hits you with a 2x4. All day God had been whispering to me, do not get out on the road, do not get out on the road, do not get out on the road. I'd actually called my company and they put me on shutdown status. And I said, once it gets closer to time for me to leave, I will give you an update as to whether I feel safe driving. And I got a message from my company and then also a phone call before I had made that decision, kind of, pressuring me when they call. They're like, listen, I've got Michael's on the other line, which is where my delivery is going to. We're just trying to get an ETA if you're, if the winds have died down, if you're going to be there on time, and yada, yada, yada. And at that point I was feeling a little bit of pressure. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, the winds have died down some. There were still some wind gusts. But, I guess, I can go ahead and try to make it down the road, and, like I said, my instincts, God had been whispering to me all day, do not get out on the interstate. Do not get out on the interstate. Like I said, my departure time was 9:30. So I'm an hour and a half away. The load was due at 11 p.m. I got ready to pull out of that truck stop, and, I believe God shut me down. God shut me down. He made these trailer lights flicker. He made, this TA was right across the street. Just everything fell into place. And, it was still a long night. I was up until about 3 a.m., back and forth. Once they fixed the pigtail, then it turned out that all the other lights came on the trailer except for two. My right turn signal and marker light, for some reason, still kept inexplicably, flickering on and off, which is the same situation that happened with the trailer that I got the CSA points on. And so I'm going to go into my company at safety when I get there back to the terminal and actually try to get that CSA point taken off of me, because I tried to explain to them the same situation had happened, but I had no documentation or paperwork or anything like that. I told them, I did my pre-trip, the lights worked, I started driving, I made a right-hand turn, my signal worked, turned down, a side Nebraska highway, and then my lights went out, just inexplicably. Then a trooper got behind me, and then after he got done writing up all his paperwork, I started down the road, and the lights came on again. So it was the same exact thing that's happening with this trailer. Same exact thing. So I'm going to try to get that CSA point off of me, because now I have the documentation, and I asked the mechanic to put all of that in his notes, that the lights were flickering. At one moment they would be on, and then the next moment they would be off. It's some type of electrical short in the trailers, and this is not the first trailer I've had that's done this. So yeah, sorry guys, I know I said I was going to keep it short, but man, trust the process. Trust wherever God has you at this moment in time is exactly where you need to be. You may not see the big picture. You may not know the reason why. Sometimes it's not for us to know why until well later down the road. But, just trust the process. Trust your instincts. Like I said, sometimes, God or the universe will whisper to us. If we are quiet and still in our lives and in our mind, we can hear that whisper. But when we let the world and our logical thinking mind and all of these things kind of get louder, sometimes God, the universe, will hit you with a 2x4 just to get you to, so, don't wait on the 2x4. I used to do that in life, and those 2x4s hurt. They do. The 2x4s hurt. So, quiet yourself down, listen for the whisper, follow your instincts, trust your instincts. That's the main thing. I think we all really have instincts. Some of us are more tuned into them than others. But it's not just about, hearing the instincts. It's about actually trusting them enough to follow them. Trust yourself. Trust the voice within yourself. Just trust the process. Trust it. We live in a society that teaches us not to trust ourselves, to trust all these external voices and powers and things that are telling us to do this and to be here and to, all these different things. And sometimes we just kind of, okay, and we turn over our power to, that external, direction, and we over time learn to, or begin to, either number one, not hear our own direction, which is, our own path, or we learn not to trust what is happening internally, the internal voice that's telling us to do or not do something. So for me, this is just another confirmation to get back to self, get back to, my instincts, my intuition. I always hear it. It's just sometimes, I override it. We try to be, a good employee or a good wife or a good, daughter or a good mother or, all these different things. And we kind of override that sometimes by doing what we think will please others. And that's usually the situations where I found myself in really dicey situations and in places that I really did not want to be. And then, in hindsight, I'm angry at myself and I'm angry at the situation because I knew better. I had, a voice or an instinct telling me not to, and I did it anyway. And then, here we are. So, all right, with that, guys, I'm going to shut down. Hi, Deborah. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I will be safe. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day. And I'm going to actually drop a bunch of posts today of, I've been in Pennsylvania, or I was in Pennsylvania for about a week, from Pennsylvania to Ohio, back to Pennsylvania to New Jersey, back to Pennsylvania to Ohio. So I've got a lot of videos that I haven't posted yet, and I need to get those posted today because my SD card is full again, which is why I'm going Facebook Live. So I need to get those videos posted so that I can switch out SD cards. So just look for a media drop on my timeline. Lots of good videos though. So if you're interested in some ride-alongs and some beautiful scenery and some, day in the life of type of videos, check some of them out, guys. I'm actually going to get some of them over onto the YouTube channel as well. I've been really dormant over there. So the YouTube channel is the Venusian Traveler. Venusians like the planet Venus, and then with an I-A-N on the end, Venusian. Venusian, Venusian. And happy new moon, everybody. Happy new moon. All right. Set your intentions, blessings and abundance and prosperity, joy and happiness to everyone. Thanks for watching.